Wizarding World expanded Harry Potter universe is being unceremoniously cancelled by Warner Bros. Discovery, and the original films might get remade in the name of money. I'm Troy from Marks on Movies, and today we're talking about the future of Harry Potter, brought to you by articles from Inside the Magic and Giant Freakin' Robot. The links are down in the video description. Before we begin, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell to be notified whenever we post brand new videos. We bring you new content every single day of the week, whether it's about movies, TV, video games, and of course, pro wrestling. Now, on with the story. Inside the Magic says, Wizarding World cancelled, Harry Potter reboot happening. We're going to hop around a lot here because they give way too much background and detail that we don't need to know or we already know. The success of the films and novels spawned 3 more spin-off films in the Wizarding World in the form of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them in 2016, Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald in 2018, and Fantastic Beasts: The Secret of Dumbledore in 2022. It should also be noted that the franchise's success led NBC Universal to strike a deal with Warner Bros. And J.K. Rowling to create the Wizarding World in its theme parks, which can be experienced at Universal Orlando Resort, Universal Studios Hollywood, and other Universal parks around the world. At Universal Orlando, guests can walk through Hogsmeade Village and Hogwarts Castle at Universal's Island of Adventure, then take the Hogwarts Express over to Universal Studios Florida and walk through Diagon Alley. I actually went there in Florida on my honeymoon in the summer of 2016, and it was honestly one of the greatest experiences of my life. I've been a Potterhead since either 99 or 2000, so walking through the awesomeness that Universal Studios created was just mwah, chef's kiss. My wife isn't a Potter fan, but even she loved it. Getting back to the article though the franchise has been credited with much success, the last couple of films in the Fantastic Beasts series have left much to be desired in the box office, and this has led to the studio apparently deciding to go in a different direction. At WDW Pro recently reported a leak that Warner Bros. Discovery is planning to reboot the films with a new cast in the next 3 to 5 years. Quote, exclusive leak, WBD is reportedly looking to reboot the Harry Potter film franchise, including recasting in the next 3 to 5 years. We will release some details of how I became aware of this information presented by a source on the @ValiantRenegade channel tomorrow morning. End quote. There have been multiple rumors over the course of the last several months that the franchise could receive a reboot of some kind. Fans didn't take kindly to Johnny Depp being replaced in the Fantastic Beasts series, and there have been multiple reports that Warner Bros. May decide to go in a different direction entirely. Of course, this isn't the only controversy that Warner Bros. Has gotten mixed into recently. The DC Universe has had its fair share of failures, and this has led to an overhaul of many future plans. Henry Cavill was axed from his role as Superman, and there have been plenty of questions as to what Warner Bros. Will do in the future with DC. Giant Freakin' Robot gives us details as well, referencing the tweet from @WDW Pro, and then has this to say. Granted, Harry Potter fans have been begging for the mainline series to keep going, and many have pointed to continuing on with The Cursed Child. However, Daniel Radcliffe showed no interest in carrying on as the boy who lived, and rightfully so. Radcliffe's career has not been defined by his record-setting franchise, and has gone on to be in tons of great movies since then. Yeah, Daniel Radcliffe probably made the right call here. On one hand, it would be awesome to see the original crew come back, but on the other hand, I have heard some terrible things about The Cursed Child. Reviews for it were not great, and the last thing we need is another bad Harry Potter film. Getting back to the article, Harry Potter is full of plenty of lore that could be explored in different ways. Take Hogwarts Legacy, for instance. The new video game is going to be exploring an older age of the Harry Potter franchise. The game will cover the Victorian era and take place hundreds of years before the events of Harry Potter take place. The rebooted Harry Potter movies could do that, or simply tell the original story in a much different way with a much different cast. The above rumor seems to indicate that the latter is going to happen, much to the dismay of many adoring fans of Radcliffe and the other spectacular actors that have come and gone from the franchise. We are not sure how this newly rebooted franchise might look, but going with a recast could spell through for this glorious series. I'm going to talk about this next point in my closing comments, but let's finish up on this point from Giant Freakin' Robot. To be fair, despite the Harry Potter movies being as good as they are, there are always those who say that the books were far better. This newly rebooted plan could involve telling a more factual story by staying as close to the source material as possible. Again, we know that the movies are heralded as untouchable, so we would imagine that people are going to be plenty upset about a full reboot. Wrapping this video up with my thoughts here, the first Harry Potter film dropped before Christmas in 2001. The following 7 films came out every year after that, except for 2006 and 2008, finally ending in 2011. That's just over a decade ago. Look, I realize that there is a new generation of kids that haven't grown up with Harry Potter, so these new releases will actually be somewhat new to them, but thanks to the power of streaming services, you can literally watch them in high def whenever you want on HBO Max and Peacock. You can also get them on Blu-ray in high def, so, they're sold everywhere. This isn't like remaking an old, outdated film from the 60s or 70s, or even an old black and white film, so I don't really get this. I mean, I guess being creatively bankrupt and desperately needing money means that you're not replaying the classics, but rather doing remakes of the classics. I don't blame them for not pumping out more Wizarding World films, though, if they're going to end up like Fantastic Beasts. The title of that franchise is actually pretty misleading. The films themselves weren't very good, and honestly, sometimes boring. Nobody asked for this stuff. It also gave the writers and J.K. Rowling herself the ability to retcon so much of the Harry Potter mythos, which turned out to be dumb and useless. But they're seriously out of ideas so bad that they have to remake the classic film franchise? Come on now. Looking on the bright side, there were certain aspects of the original films that weren't great, and they could maybe fix it this time around. For instance, the Dumbledore from the first 2 movies actually passed away before the 3rd film, leading to his recasting. I realize that was obviously out of their control, but still, there were various other character recastings as well that were annoying. Some things from the books were left out as well. I'm specifically thinking of details from The Prisoner of Azkaban. I read the books, so I fully understood everything going into the movies, but my father had not, and he left the theater kind of confused. That's not a good thing. Also, instead of having 4 different directors for the series, they need like one person, one vision, one movie series executive producer or whatever, so that they can have a consistent look and feel to all of the movies. By nature, these films get darker and more adult-oriented as they go, just like the books. But I don't know about you all, but I felt that it was painfully obvious whenever they changed directors. Again, I go back to The Prisoner of Azkaban. The final bad thing about this is J.K. Rowling's thing. She created it. She made the books, she was heavily involved in the movies and the casting. But this time around, since she's become so politically polarizing, and so many people are out there talking crap about her and saying they won't support her in any way, shape, or form, I don't know if that's going to play into the films, if she's involved, which I feel like she has to be. So, I don't know. This could be a very bad hot-button issue. But what do you all think? Leave a comment down below and give me your take on all of this. Also, I'm still holding out hope that they don't completely scrap the last-gen releases for Hogwarts Legacy, the video game, after moving the release date back. I would be friggin' heartbroken, because that's my game of the year that I'm looking forward to the most, and I can't afford current-gen systems other than Nintendo Switch at this time. Are you guys excited for the game? Also, let me know what you thought about Fantastic Beasts and where to find them in that whole series. I actually dug the first movie, and then the second movie was okay. Third movie damn near put me to sleep multiple times. Were there other Wizarding World stories that you were hoping for that just won't get made anymore? Also, share this video around to everyone you know, and don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click that little bell to be notified every time we post brand new content on movies, TV, video games, and of course, pro wrestling. I've been Troy from Marks on Movies, and we'll see you next time.